What's up, beautiful people? Listen, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be checking this video and it's titled Shocking Accusations. Harry and Meghan left sour relationship with royal family. Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to check this one out to hear what they've got to say. Let's check it out.
I mean, look, I'm not surprised that these ridiculous questions are being asked by Britain's public broadcaster. I say good on Nigel Farage. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, he's such a troublemaker, isn't he? He's got 1 million views now on this clip. One of his favourite hobbies is exposing the BBC for some of its ridiculousness. But this is the flagship news, very serious panel show on the BBC. It used to have an enormous audience. It's dwindled a little, although I'm sure those viewing figures went up with Nigel on the panel last night. But, you know, I've been on this show once before, and I had a little look back at my emails to see if I was asked to take part in this, and absolutely I was. They wanted to know gender, ethnicity, disability, age, gender identity, and also sexual orientation. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't think the BBC needs to know whether I fancy men or women.
I just think it's none of their business. If you're appearing as a guest on a show, what business is it of the BBC's to know all this private information? They are just so out of touch with reality. And I also find it interesting, Emily, because the BBC was this week actually forced to apologise to Farage.
Oh, this is crazy. And yes, let's just remember the BBC is a taxpayer-funded organisation. It costs each and every person in this country a licence fee, regardless of how much they actually use it. It's got a very strict code of conduct, editorial standards. Impartiality is one of the most important things for the BBC. Without it, it would cease to exist. So Nigel Farage, he was out helping to promote the Reform Party, which is a new party here in the UK. This is all ahead of the general election. He made a big speech in the South about immigration. He quoted remarks made by the Polish Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, about how illegal immigration is a massive issue of national security. What did the BBC presenter do? She cut away and said to the audience, said to Britain, he was using his customary inflammatory language. Customary inflammatory language. Now, this is a clear and obvious breach of impartiality rules. We're not supposed to know what news presenters feel, how they feel about political leaders. So, yes, she was forced to make a grovelling apology to both the viewers and also to Nigel Farage, and it all happened within an hour.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like...
And one thing about the mainstream media now is they've gone so woke to the point where they would report things in a way that you would start asking questions like, what exactly is going on? You're seeing things for black and white, but they are telling you no, it is not black, it is not white. They are telling you to flip the other side to see a different color when you can see. It don't make sense. I don't even understand how we got to this level of wokeism that people have to see things the way others see when it's not even supposed to be so. When you see the truth, call it for what it is, rather than trying to paint it or fine-tune it to be something else when it's not. It don't make sense. Honestly, that is the reason why lots of people don't trust the mainstream media anymore, especially with their woke agenda or pushing a certain narrative, because they want people to believe or to see things in their own way. So they want to control the way you think. They want to control the way you see things, because they want to be the ones to take the lead, and your job is just to follow. It honestly don't make sense. But let me know what you think about it. Also, I'm glad that people are starting to call them out for their woke agenda or whatever they're doing, because gone are the days where people just sit and trust the mainstream media and believe everything they say. But now people are watching, regardless of how it is, and people can see, especially for those that are not leaning towards the woke agenda, they can see. But let's go on.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like Australia's public broadcaster at the moment. They're all the same. Now, let's move on to the royals now, because the palace has confirmed that Princess Kate won't be attending the Trooping the Colour rehearsal as she continues her cancer recovery. How concerning is this?
Yes, this is a real disappointment, because there was growing speculation. There was some speculation that she would be well enough to take part in this rehearsal on June the 8th. Kate would usually take the salute. So I do hope that this isn't a sign that her recovery is complicating somewhat. But the good news is that the Royal Palace have confirmed that the King will be in attendance at this year's Trooping the Colour event. But yes, we know that Princess Kate will be absent because of her recovery after her cancer diagnosis. But this is a major royal event. 2,000 soldiers take part. You've got 250 horses involved. So if she is suffering with her health, it's probably not the best place for her to be.
Yes.
No, clearly not. Now, speaking of, there are reports King Charles is desperate to reunite Prince Harry, but he's now reached the end of his tether. I mean, I'm not surprised, as Harry has refused to compromise. What's happened here?
I mean, let's remember relations have been very sour, a tad sour, since Harry and Meghan left the royal family in 2020. It was, they've spilled all sorts of private details of royal life. They've made some shocking accusations, including of racism. So yes, it's hardly surprising that relations are very much strained still. I mean, it's worth remembering Harry wrote about his father in his book Spare, saying he had trouble communicating, trouble listening, trouble being intimate face to face. This isn't something that any father would want the world to read. But
exactly.
Harry's recent visit, King Charles must feel very hurt. Harry suggested that he hadn't met with his father because of the King's busy schedule. It was then revealed that actually Charles had offered to meet his son, but Harry had said, no, I don't have enough security and I'd rather stay in a hotel. So which one is it? I'll let you make up your mind.
Well, which one is it? Exactly. It's always something. And I'm surprised the King actually hasn't reached the end of his tether earlier. He's got a lot of patience, that man, to be having a wayward son like Harry. Emily Carver, good to speak with you. Thanks for joining us as always.
Thanks a lot.
Well, regardless, if Princess Catherine is going to be absent for the Trooping Colours, then absolutely there is a reason why she would be absent based on her health issues and still trying to fully recover and all. So I mean, just like what was said here, this is not the kind of place she should be in. She should be in full recovery and up and about to take up her duties and stuff. But again, let's even talk about the our very favorite couples, H&M, because I've said it before, I don't know nobody who would publicly embarrass their family and act like nothing, because it don't make sense. Honestly, for you to backstab your family, we get that, yeah, sometimes your family will do some things or some crazy things, they will drive you nuts and all, but they are still your family. Regardless, you can run anywhere you go and still return to your family, and they would still accept you in open arms. We've seen this happen tons of time. But when you continuously embarrass them in public and act like nothing and act like you were victimized without even thinking of the consequences of what you're doing to the family or to your family, and you expect people to respect you, because when people look at you that you are doing this to your family in the open without remorse, you don't care what is happening, it's just all about you, people will be scared to work with you, because they'll be like, what is to say you're not going to turn on them the slightest chance or the slightest opportunity you get, or when things don't go your way no more? Like, people are watching. But again, it seems like lots of people just don't care. They just want to always do things their way, and we see this with H&M. But this is an interesting conversation, though. So do you ever think the family would reconcile with them? We understand that, yeah, it's a different case if none of this was out in public or all the secrets were not leaked. It would have been a different case. I don't think the family would have a hard time reconciling with with Prince Harry. But now that everything, so what is to say that when they fully reconcile, there would not be an hidden agenda underneath? It's gonna be scary. But let me know what you think about this. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I really love you to share that. You can share the useful information I think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.